And speaking of poison being put into our bodies, the FDA has given our money to vaccine developers so that they can develop a bird flu vaccine. And even worse, the FDA is preparing to hand them an emergency use authorization. Is any of this ringing a bell? So that they can skip over all the testing and trials and rush another untested jab right into your arm. Is this 2020 all over again? Well, let's see what Dr. Peter McCullough has to say about all this. He's the chief scientific officer at the Wellness Company and one of the world's top experts on these topics. Doctor, great to see you. Big Pharma, no shame at all. No shame at all. This is all about money, and they don't care who gets hurt. We have these turbo cancers now where we're seeing in super young people coming at a rapid fire rate. Not even to mention upticks in all things like ADHD, dementia, stillbirths, all the rest of it. Not even to mention strokes. We all know about that. My own dad died, I believe, from the jab. How can they rush another untested jab to the market? And would it even help? Is there any evidence that you've seen in the data that this will even help bird flu? And by the way, is bird flu even a thing?
Well, I tell you what, there's no bird flu emergency. Bird flu has been around for over 100 years. In a review by Lysette and colleagues, this version that we have is very mild, no large numbers of animal deaths now, no serious human cases. So there's clearly not an emergency. Government needs to stop this PCR testing on farms, raising false positive cases. We should stop culling destruction of the poultry intentionally, and we don't need animal or human vaccines. Now, people should remember, once a vaccine is injected in their body, we can't get it out. And if we've learned anything with the COVID vaccines, boy, we should be very cautious with any future vaccine. I can't see anybody taking a bird flu vaccine, let alone an emergency use authorized one.
I want to veer with you for just 1 second, because this is a question that is just burning in me. Every time I just had surgery last week or a couple of weeks ago, everybody knows this, who's in this audience that I've spoken with about it. But one of the things I had to sign off on as I'm going into surgery was I willing to take a blood transfusion? I'm like, can you get me some unvaccinated blood? And then I'll say yes. Is there anything happening along those lines?
Blood only lasts on the shelf for about 120 days. So very few people, if any, are taking any COVID vaccines at this point in time. So I don't think the blood supply is a concern. There's never been a documented case of transference of messenger RNA or spike protein through the blood. So, if someone needs a transfusion to save their lives, I think they should take it.
That makes me feel so much better. I wish you would have told me that a couple weeks ago. All right, if it's unlikely that this supposed, they love to use the word vaccine, even though it's not, would be effective, what would be behind the decision to push yet another mRNA vaccine other than money?
It's clear that the vaccine companies and the regulatory agencies, HHS, CDC, NIH, FDA, they're working in some type of syndicate now where, there's no discussion, there's no panels, no independent types of review. HHS Secretary Becerra just, announces emergency use authorization pathway for bird flu vaccines. The government, without any oversight or deliberation, invests, $176 million in Moderna. Moderna doesn't need government investment to develop a vaccine. They're loaded with government revenue. They don't need to have offsets of their development costs. It looks like there's some type of conspiracy between big tech pharma and the government, and it's not good for Americans.
Somebody's making a lot of money is what it comes down to. But here's the thing, not everybody gets to have Dr. Peter McCullough on their show to ask them questions like about the blood supply that I had. But how can Americans separate fact from fiction when it comes to bird flu, whatever pandemic they come up with next, right? Who can they trust?
Oh, yeah, they should join the Wellness Company. The One Wellness membership program's now been expanded. Get the frequent newsletters, the updates. We're doing everything we can to carefully review the literature, guide people through these times. We can't trust the government narratives now on healthcare. We need to get second and third opinions and do our own research.
As long as the stock market crash is at hand here, the Kamala crash, as a lot of people are calling it, the global market crash we are experiencing has a lot of Americans worried about the future. We've seen rising prescription drug shortages before this crash, actually. How important, though, doctor, is it for people to stockpile prescription drugs in an environment like this? Quickly, doctor, if you could.
They can safely have on board the medical emergency kits, which are a reasonable way to have a rational pharmacy at home to handle common problems, wellness company emergency kits.
Right, one per family member, one per household member, actually, because you want to have enough for everybody in the eventuation that you would need them. Dr. Peter McCullough, thank you so much.
Thank you.